Hi, welcome to the Electro Revolution channel. My name is Michael, and here today we're going to review the BYD Atto 1, which is a new release here in Australia. So let's quickly just go around the vehicle. Now this particular vehicle, as we're going around, I'll explain it. This particular vehicle is the premium version. There's two versions that this vehicle comes in, both the Essentials and the Premium. And there is a difference between the two, and I'll put those up on the video later. But being the Premium, it actually has larger wheels, the 16-inch rims that are alloy, and it's got a bigger battery with a better motor. So let's keep going around, taking a look at the vehicle. And there we have it. That's the outside of the vehicle. And now we're going to take a look at the boot of the vehicle. So if you just come closer, it is a manual one, which on the more premium versions or the higher spec versions of BYD vehicles, they normally come with a motorized boot, but this is a budget range of vehicles, so this is expected. Now in the boot we see here, not bad in terms of the boot capacity for a smaller sized vehicle. Now, obviously with all the BYDs, you do get the cabling. That's both a vehicle to load cable, which is fantastic for this type of budget vehicle to actually have a vehicle to load facility. And this is great when you're doing camping or picnicking or, you know, going out into areas where there's no actual electricity and you do require something like a kettle or coffee machine or something like that. You can actually run off these things. So the other thing here is we've got a tyre repair kit, and that's normally put in the bottom. So they give you a carry pouch for this. If you come closer, I'll lift this open. And that's typically where you can put your tyre repair kit, your cabling and all that sort of stuff. And of course, let's just fold down the back seats just so we know how that looks in terms of the folded seats. So I can see here a 50-50 split on these particular back seats. So I'll just pull them down. Quite easy just by lifting up the tag that's there. And there we have the back area where you can load more bulkier items. Now I'll put the volumes and stuff and the specs on that on the video as I look them up. But that's still not bad. Now we'll pop these seats back up and we'll take a look at the frunk. And now we're going to open the front area and see what's under there. Now, as we can see from here, it does have quite a small engine bay. And you've got all the materials and stuff that you need for this particular vehicle, but what we don't have is a frunk. Now, it doesn't come, of course, with a frunk straight from BYD, but you can get aftermarket fronts to fit this type of area, and I've seen them online and they're just small little compartments. But of course these are things typically if you need them you would look for them in the particular vehicle, but this is what we have on the hood side of the BYD. So I'm now seated in the driver's seat so we can review the internal of the vehicle. Now, one thing I would say straight away is it's got quite a large opening side door. So for, I guess, the bigger people among us, it should be easy to enter in and exit the vehicle. Now, in terms of the seating arrangement, now it does have motorized power seats on the premium model. This doesn't this doesn't exist on the Essentials version. They just give you a manual system, but in terms of this premium version of the car, you've got forwards, backwards, you've got up, you've got down, and you've got the back. You can go forward and backwards on the back. One of the other things that is quite nice on this vehicle is the adjustment of the steering, which is just here, a little lever you push down, and then you can actually adjust this up, adjust this down, and in and out. So I will just adjust it for my height and close this, and that's it, we're good there. Now, in terms of the instrument cluster, this is a rare thing to see, especially on a budget vehicle. The instrument cluster, in my opinion, is actually required on most of these types of vehicles. And it shows you really the essential things you need. Here we've got the battery charge. Here we've got the speed indicator. This is just an informational message area. This is on normal mode at the moment. You've got eco and sports mode. This is high regenerative parking, and we're on a parking mode here. And this is the kilowatts used. So it's quite a good instrument display showing you all the key factors that you would want as a driver in this particular vehicle. And now in terms of the steering wheel, this is the regular things you typically see on a BYD vehicle. So you've got obviously those controls there, which control the different things like cruise control, the 360-degree camera, which you do get on the premium version of this vehicle. And on the right side, you've got the different controls there for volume, radio settings, mode buttons. This is the menu, which controls the section right on the instrument display here. And microphone and hang up and answer. That's for your mobile phones. In terms of the foot pedals, we've got the basic accelerator on the right, the brake on the left, and a footrest right here. And of course, you'd remove the plastic once you buy the vehicle. That's only for protection. As this is a test drive vehicle, I can understand they don't want it ruined. In terms of the windows controls, what we see here is folding of mirrors, as you can see there. As I keep pressing it, it can fold the mirrors in and out. Now, for a car of this width, that won't matter so much, but it's also important that when you're parking this on the side of the road, that another vehicle doesn't take off your mirror as it gets too close to your car, which I've seen happen. It may seem weird to say that, but I've seen it happen. Now, this is the mirror adjustments, your left mirror adjustment right there, your right mirror adjustment, and you've got doors open for all doors, lock for all doors, and the window controls there. And of course, lock the back windows there from if you've got kids in the back, for example, that open and close windows and things like that. That's the door, that's the button to take care of that. Let's quickly talk about the air conditioning. And we can see here there's 4 main vents. So you've got right here the passenger side vent that controls up and down and turn off and turn on. And that's in terms of the airflow. And if we come down here, the same thing. That turns off the airflow and that turns on the airflow, and it does directional for the left side and the right side. And the same here, up and down, left side and right side. If you don't want the vent at all, you just turn it off like that. And here we've got the driver's side vent. Same thing, it's actually turned off here. I would turn it on like that by shifting it right, and you've got the up and down controls. In terms of the console, if we look at the console, that's level 1. You can slide it to level 7. Or you can touch it on the level that you want. Or you can use the 3 fingers, as you can see there. And that's normal on all BYDs. And you can also set the temperature with the 3 fingers up and 3 fingers down, that sort of thing. As you can see, that's heating and that's cooling. And we want level 1 cooling because it's actually quite a hot day today. I think it's 27 degrees Celsius. So it's quite hot outside. In terms of the console layer, this is the new firmware update that they've installed on this particular vehicle. Now I know with the BYDs I have, it's still got the older version. Now with this one, you basically get the menu on the bottom. You can add to this menu, obviously, on the bottom, and most probably add icons on the bottom here to move them around. So I won't spend too much time on this. I'd rather spend more time on the test drive, but you can scroll down here. This is your wireless charging pad and different items and custom options you can actually drag and drop and so forth. Again, this is not something I want to concentrate on today, but it's just to show you that this is the console and you can talk to the BYDs, which is different from other vehicles, including Tesla. So for example, I can say, hey BYD.
Yes?
Turn the temperature to 21 degrees.
I can set the temperature up to level 17. I'll adjust it to that instead.
And there you go. It does about 300 commands from memory on these particular vehicles, but you know, you can talk to it while you drive, or you can just do the controls like that, as we've discussed earlier. So as we see here, this is the under part under the main dashboard. What we see here is a USB-C port. We see the SIM port there, and this is likely for the mobile connectivity for the vehicle, which helps in the navigation. It also helps in the radio, the digital radio and things like that. And here is the USB-A port, and it also has a 12-volt port. It's got a cover there. Now, in terms of the wireless charging pad, this is what you get also with the premium version. It does not come in the essential version. So we can test it here with another phone. And as you can see, it works fine. And of course, you can control it through the console here by turning that on and off through this option here, if you don't want to always charge your phone. And we can see here also 2 cup holders if we just come to this part here. So we've got the shallow cup holder here and the deeper cup holder here. Now it does have a key fob label here, which is typically where you would put the key fob for the vehicle. So I could do that, for example. Now it doesn't have in terms of the center part here, you would find in most cars, and that's because of the width of the vehicle and the sizing of the actual passenger side seat and the driver's side seat. You can see it's very narrow here. And because of that, of course, you won't get something in the center here, but they do provide right on the bottom here a section you can add other things. Now what we can see here also is the unit does come with a glove box. So it's not a massive glove box, but I wouldn't expect that with such a small dash. But it's always good to have a glove box for any important documentation or sunglasses or anything like that that you'd like to put in there. Now I'll just make one comment before we move onto the back seats. This is actually quite nice in terms of the feel. Like it is plastic, but it's not plastic on the outside. It's not hardened plastic on the outside. They've got some sort of cloth coating on it. So that actually feels quite good. When I come to the dash, that is hard plastic. And it's actually quite hot under the sun. So you would need a sunshade if you're having this out in the sun for long periods of time. It's actually quite hot. I won't be able to hold my hand there for more than a few seconds. But it is hard plastic, and you know, it's still not bad for this particular type of vehicle. And we'll just quickly go up to the rear view mirror. And of course, you've got the bottom and up. The So essentially what this is for the people with the high beams. If they're blinding you in here, you can do that. So this also means it's not auto dimming, as you'd find in other more luxurious BYD vehicles. So continuing on the upper area of the vehicle, what we see here is actually a blank plate. And of course, these are produced in multiple BYD vehicles. So they use the same casing. And of course, that's to conserve funds when they're actually building this. But you've also got the lighting here. You can turn on and off using your finger. Now let's move to the side pockets where we see the door here. So you can typically put a bottle of water into this area here. It has the slot for it. And you can put other things in there if you really need to. Now this is soft touch. Definitely, it's similar material to the dash as we felt before, but this is much more softer. It's got some sponging underneath on that area too. And this is the window up and down. And it's a one touch also. Not on the up, but definitely on the down. So we'll do that again. If I press it once like that. Or I can manually control it slightly like that. It's got a double click there. And of course, this is the door handle. As with normal BYDs, you would find you'd have to open that twice if the car is actually locked. If it's unlocked, you can open it just with a one jar of the handle. So now talking about the seating, we can see perforated holes within the seating. It's actually very, very soft touch leather. It actually feels fantastic in terms of a leather seat. What I do recognize in this vehicle is in here we see the seating arrangement, and we see both the front passenger and the driver's side both have heating, but it doesn't seem to be having any type of cooling on the seats. Now let's move to the back seats. Now in terms of the back seat, it is quite comfortable and quite rigid on the back. It's actually, even though it feels very soft touch, as I sit here, I can feel it being very firm. But in terms of room for such a small vehicle, I do have some headroom there. Maybe I'm 5'9", so maybe for the taller gentlemen, like anyone that's 6'2" and 6'4", they may have trouble sitting in the back here because there's no actual seating adjustment, so you're kind of stuck with it. In terms of leg room, as you can see, there's plenty of leg room, and I adjusted this seat mid-range, so it's not all the way forward and it's not all the way backward, but I believe this one is all the way backward. And if we look there, as a 5'9" person, I've actually got quite a lot of knee space there. So for me, it's all right, maybe not for a long drive, but certainly enough for a short drive. And if you've got kids in the back, you could easily put the baby seats here or the booster seats, and they would be comfortable in this type of back seat arrangement. And of course, we've got similar type of very, very soft touch material here. Like I imagine it's cloth, it's certainly not leather. And they've got hard plastic here and hard plastic here. And of course the pocket and the up and down window side. Now the last thing to cover before I take this on a test drive is these controls down here. So as you can see here, this is an up and down type system, including here for the volume control. So you would press up, down, as you can see it controls the aircon side. This one also controls on and off of the aircon. You know, you can see here air conditioning on, air conditioning off, and the hazards. And of course, these are the different controls. I don't want to be playing with these ones because I'll be taking it for a test drive. But in terms of the gear shift, we've got here drive, neutral, and reverse. So to do on drive, I just press down and that puts it into drive gear, as you can see on the console. If I want to park the vehicle, it's pressing that button there. And that parks the vehicle, this button here. So let's now take it for a drive. So that's the end of the first episode of the BYD Atto 1 test drive series. And in this particular episode, we covered the external and we covered the interior of the vehicle, the cabin, the boot, the front hood area, and those sort of things. Now, we did cover it in a level of quite a lot of detail. So I hope you really did enjoy that video. And if you did, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, share this content with someone who'd be interested, or just leave a comment. It really all helps. Until the next video where we actually perform the test drive, I hope to see you there. Bye for now.